Is it the end of the line for the Microsoft Surface Duo? It's kind of odd to think about. It feels like it's been around forever, but in actuality, it hasn't yet reached its third birthday. But Microsoft seems to be pulling back on new features and support with an end of life scheduled for September of this year. That's it. That'll be the last security patch after only 3 years. I know that was announced at launch, but given the struggles that this device had at launch for the first year for owners that paid upwards of $1,500, you think Microsoft would provide a little bit more. This has the April patch, does not yet have the May patch, though it's running on AT&T. I thought unlocked devices did get a May patch already. AT&T is notoriously slow when it comes to a security update, so that might be coming on here. But this is disappointing for a couple different reasons. The fact that the optimizations and feature sets seems to have stopped now for the original Surface Duo, because Android 12 one, it's a mixed bag. Android 10 was a disaster for the first year. Android 11 really brought this thing into its own. I could use it. It made it usable for a lot of people. The orientation issues that the device had, the touch issues that the device had, it cleaned up the UI of the Surface Duo. All of that stuff on Android 11 was a positive. It was excellent. Android 12L, while a lot of the visual optimizations are here, and I really like a lot of that stuff, performance has kind of dragged back towards Android 10. Not as bad. I can still use it. I have been using it for the last few days. I still like it. But some of the things that I thought we had said goodbye to with Android 10 have crept back in. App stuff, app instability. I've had a lot of issues with Twitter. Orientation stuff again, where I kind of flip it around and I don't get a smooth swap between the orientation I'm in and the orientation that I want. I thought we had really said goodbye to that when we came to Android 11. I was a little disappointed to see it back in Android 12L. I've had touch sensitivity issue stuff. I've had to hit stuff several times before I'd actually activate it and I got to use it. I've had keyboard issues again with this device. Like I said, not disasters. Certainly not the issues that I was having with Android 10, but not nearly as good and dialed in as it was on Android 11. So that's something to consider. If you are still using it, let me know your experience down below, because there is something about it that I still love. I still love the fact that I could pull up multiple different, you can see, kind of that stuff. See, and it logged me out. I had a Twitter glitch last night and it logged me back out of Twitter. Some stuff on it is just plain weird. We'll pull up OneNote here. I like the fact that I get two different experiences at the same time. And as much as I love, and as much as Android 12L, which this is running, has solved a lot of multitasking issues for me on my foldables, like the Fold 4, I still wind up using it 99% of the time as just one big display. Because it's not as simple as just hitting that and having two different apps that are app experience that I'd actually want to have. It's more along the lines of, well, I'll hit one, open it up, and then use it, and then hit another one, and I'm using the dock more as switching between apps faster, as opposed to getting a true two-app experience, which is something that the Duo brings. That's why I was disappointed at the rumors that the Duo 3 was dropping the Hinge design and the two displays and actually going for one big display. Because even if they went for something like this, where it was a nice wide aspect ratio, I still feel that I would use it as one big display, just kind of a wide landscape tablet, instead of something like this where I find myself frequently, I have the app pairs, but I find myself frequently opening up. I'll have email up on my left side all day long. You see Outlook here? I'll have that one pulled up while I have Twitter or Instagram pulled up over here, or I'm on eBay at night or something like that. I'll be scrolling through with my email up, responding to emails, or if I have to reference something, there's a lot of notes are up on this side. If I have to reference something back and forth to do, there's a lot of great stuff to be had still on the Surface Duo. The other disappointing thing is, besides the software optimization, is the 855, the Snapdragon 855, to me has lost a little zip on the fastball. Just a little bit. It's starting to show signs of its age. That might be the 6 gigs of RAM. That's why at the time I thought for $1,500 it should have been an 8 gig device. This was a device that was overcooked from the start, so it spent so much time in development that they didn't have the ability to put in a Snapdragon 865, even though it should have been in this device. Don't forget, this came out in September of 2020. The Snapdragon 855 powered the Galaxy S10 Plus, which came out in January of the previous year, 2019. So this was almost 18 months old by the time it got into the Surface Duo, the original So you're talking about 18 months of age, and then we finally got to use it. Then the 6 gigs of RAM, so it's going to show its age a little bit sooner than you'd think for a 2.5, almost 3-year-old device, which is really disappointing because I still think I may pick up a Surface Duo 2. I don't know. I'm thinking about it. You get the extra year of support there. They're just so expensive and hard to find. These used to be, you could get them all day long. All you wanted for $300, $350. If you got the AT&T one, it was a little bit cheaper because it was locked to AT&T. The Surface Duo 2 came down in price a little bit to sub, I don't know, about $800. These now used are close to $600, which is absolutely, do not pick this up for $600. And then I've seen astronomical prices, just goofy fake prices for the Duo 2. So that's disappointing as well, picking one up. If you can get one of these super cheap and you want to play with the technology, yeah, sure, go ahead. Understand it's not perfect. Understand there's definite flaws here, especially with the first generation. They had the plastic frame. It was very thin and light design, but it did cause some bending if you sat on it wrong or whatever. You had it in your pocket and you were getting in and out of your car. The one thing that they seem to have nailed right from the start, and it's something that a lot of manufacturers struggle with, is this hinge was excellently engineered. Absolutely fantastic hinge. Just super smooth, a pleasure to use. I just wish the guts and the software had held up the entire time because people who paid $1,500 from the start for this absolutely deserved a better experience. And it turned out that we were at beta testers after all for this device because the software for the first year with Android 10 was not there. Android 11 was good. We had a little bit of time in the sun. Where we can enjoy this thing. And Android 12L, well, it works. I love the aesthetics. I love the changes that they've made. The UI stuff for Android 12L is beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous on this device. But the performance isn't quite what I'd expect. And it looks like optimizations or further features are not in the cards for the original Duo as it ends life. I do wish they'd give it another year. I do wish that they at least match it with the Surface Duo 2 because I feel like Duo 1 owners were robbed of that first year. It was that bad. When I first got mine on Android 10, it was that bad. I couldn't do the orientations. Touch was horrible on it. There were a host of problems. So I feel like we were robbed of a year of usage on this device, and we should get a year back on the back end with some other stuff. I just wish they'd lock Android 12L in a little bit better. Just a little bit better. Clean up some of the stuff on Android 12L. And if you got to leave us on something, leave us with a decent version so at least we could use it for another year, possibly 2. It is disappointing that it won't even get security patches, though. That will become an issue at some point, especially since you use this as kind of a business device. You got banking. I got investment stuff up on here. I got my emails. You want it to be secure and have the latest and greatest, at least in terms of security, for a device like this that's honed and tuned towards business usage and not necessarily that of a regular mobile device. I like it overall. I still like it. It was unique. It was different. It's something that you really had to want it. You had to want it for sure. You certainly paid for it. And I would pick up a Surface Duo 2, but again, I'm not paying exorbitant prices for one. But let me know your experience. If you're using Android 12L and you're having a better experience than me, let me know in the comment section below. If your experience has been kind of a step back from Android 11 on Android 12L, let me know that as well. And if you'd like to see another year of support, then go ahead and give that button, that like button, a little bit of a tussle. But if you've made it this far, like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Until next time, have that Steve-licious day.